and today is day 17. Today we're going to be talking about why some of the biggest law firms in this world have banned using AI. Some of the most sophisticated law firms in the world, firms with more resources to adopt artificial intelligence than almost anyone has, and have restricted or banned tools like ChatGPT or public tools like Grok, Claude for lawyers. And this video should make you rethink why you're using that. These firms are not behind technology, so they know what maybe the rest of us might be missing. The real examples. Michon de Rea, a UK firm with around 600 lawyers, banned the use of ChatGPT specifically over the risk it posed to sensitive client data. More recently, Hill Dixonson restricted staff access to artificial intelligence tools firm-wide, requiring approval before use. The firm pushed back, called it an outright ban, but functionality. It meant no unapproved artificial intelligence use on client work. And this pattern also includes banks like JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, and Deutsche Bank, and companies like Samsung restricted ChatGPT after specific incidents involving leaked confidential data. What they actually know, which we don't. Here's the pattern worth understanding. Almost none of these firms banned AI as a concept. Most banned public consumer grade AI tools specifically, and many of the same firms simultaneously built or adopted private enterprise grade alternatives, which means that they make their own bots. This often is called build don't block approach. Some large firms restricted public use of ChatGPT and built their own AI platforms for their own personal use to avoid any sensitive data being exposed and any profiles being exposed of their clients. The privilege risk most lawyers aren't thinking about at this point while they're using AI tools is that there is a newer risk that is pushed in this conversation further in 2026, which is called confidentiality for us. In a recent closely watched US case, a defendant used a general AI tool to help prepare their defense strategy, and prosecutors moved to compel production of those AI chat logs. The court ultimately ruled those exchanges were neither privileged nor protected work product. Think about what that means. A conversation with a general AI tool may not carry the same legal protection as a conversation with your actual lawyer. For a law firm, that's not a hypothetical risk. That's a direct threat to attorney-client privilege on the active files and confidentiality. The shadow AI problem. Here's the twist that makes an outright ban risky too. When firms ban AI without giving lawyers an approved alternative, they often just push the behavior underground. Lawyers under deadline pressure turn to free personal device AI tools anyway, what's now been called shadow AI. So basically, lawyers have been using them without permission. That's arguably worse than controlled adoption because the firm loses all visibility into where client data is actually going. A blanket ban without an alternative doesn't eliminate the risk, it just makes the firm blind to it. So it makes sense that firms create their own artificial intelligence tools. What this means for your practice as a lawyer. You probably can't build a private enterprise artificial intelligence platform as a solo or a small firm lawyer, but you can apply the same underlying logic these firms are using. Know exactly what tool you're using for which task. Never assume a consumer AI tool's confidentiality terms will match your professional obligations required to the law society. And understand that for anything touching real case strategy or privileged material, the safer move is a tool with clear data protections, not necessarily avoiding artificial intelligence altogether. The firms banning AI outright aren't telling you to avoid the technology of artificial intelligence, they're telling you what tool not to use as per your profession. and that puts matters more into streamline and helps with confidentiality and keeping honesty, candor, and all while representing our own client. This distinction is what I wanted to put in this whole video. What's your firm's policy on AI? And as a sole lawyer or a small law firm lawyer or even a junior lawyer, what do you think? I would love to know in the comments below. See you tomorrow.